analyze some of it now with Sandile Swana. Sandile, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. Overall, the parts that you watched of Mkhwebane this afternoon, earlier today rather, what stood out for you? What are them? I mean, there's so many allegations that she's making. She's also complaining against the likes of us in the media.
Yeah, I think I would like to start with that one, Praten. Thank you. I hear her complaint, and it's a common complaint in South Africa by certain types of personalities. But I think people have just got to accept that there are certain precautions that are taken to determine what is publishable as truth, and so on and so forth. And stories do develop. The journalists in South Africa have played a major role in uncovering a lot of wrongdoing, especially since 2000, after the Polokwane conference until to date. So that one, I think it's tragic that she mixes her political battles with the media as if the media is a political party. I mean, she throws in the DA there, Ramaphosa and the eNCA and all sorts of things. So that was unfortunate. However, there is two things that all of us have got to stand back and think about. The first one being that in this case that we're talking about, there is now a dead body, which is the body of Tina Joemat. So that needs careful investigation. Number two, there are audio recordings, digital recordings of messages and discussions and all that. That needs careful investigation, which means we cannot dismiss these things now out of hand because of that. So we do need to say there is something that needs to be investigated here.
And she make that's the point you're saying, that there's things that we need to think about, what really happened here, because there's many questions still in the minds of the public surrounding the death, the untimely and sudden death of Tina Joemat Peterson, who was still the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Police in Parliament. But also, she goes beyond the allegation to make demands. I was sort of taken aback myself a little bit to say, for somebody who's suspended in a position, who's trying to literally fight for her life and preserve her reputation, to be now saying, I'm demanding this and that. She's demanding that Richard Janji, the chairperson of the 194 inquiry, should be removed. She's demanding that the Speaker of Parliament should be suspended, and so many other demands. What did you make of that? What should we make of that, rather, Sandile?
I think there are at least two levels at which you can look at it. The first one is what has come to be known in South Africa as the Stalingrad approach to litigation, where you throw everything to delay, to confuse the investigation against yourself, and to protract it. And that strategy is aimed at saying, if I'm right, probably until October, when her term of office ends and she can retire with some form of dignity from her position. The other one is that some of these allegations that have been made against Janji, for instance, and the Speaker of Parliament, who is also an overseer in a sense, a custodian of this process, those are serious allegations which ordinarily have to be investigated. But in trying to pursue those allegations, you add delays to the process. So, and now she's given physical body to this thing by saying, here's a dead person, here are WhatsApp messages, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, and what should we make, or can she demand that the Deputy Director of the Deputy Public Protector, currently Advocate Kolega Galega, should release the Phala report into the President, that whole farm thing, by the 7th of July. She even puts a date to it.
Yes, it's not her place to be demanding those things. I think probably you and I are better placed coming from our homes as citizens to make those demands, and members of Parliament and so on. As the office that and the position that she's in as a respondent in these charges against her, she's got no platform to launch any such demands. She has a list of demands that the Phala Phala report, this, that, and the other thing. And also that she complained to the Judicial Services Commission that there was an abuse of power in the process in which she was suspended, and that judgment must be issued immediately,
Okay.
and so on and so forth. But I'm sure there are processes for that. But now she is taking her battle of disrupting the inquiry and mobilizing South Africa. If you read those points, actually, I've got some notes here. If you read those points, it's actually mobilizing you and I and the general public to rally along and in essence, disrupt this hearing.
Okay, very briefly as we conclude, Sandile, she portrays herself as a victim, or am I wrong in saying so?
Yes, she portrays herself as a victim. And that I can understand, because I think you may well find that when you analyze some of the cases, there are people that she had findings against, that she needed to have findings against. And then there are others where she made mistakes, and there were some glaring mistakes that she made that I could not understand myself. So all I can say is that her demand for a balanced review is fair, but her demand to say that everybody, including the media, is biased, that is a little bit far-fetched.
Thank you very much, Sandile Swana, for your initial reactions and insights into the briefing by the suspended public protector, Busisiwe Mkhwebane, which finished a short while ago. I'm sure there's going to be more time to unpack many other aspects of what Ms. Mkhwebane had to say a little bit earlier today.